my name is Rowena. I'm the nutritionist at Las Vegas Urban League WIC.
And I'm Samaje Bruce, IBCLC and breastfeeding coordinator for the Las Vegas Urban League WIC.
All right, so this month we're celebrating National Move More Month. So happy National Move More Month. We celebrate Move More Month every April. Move More Month is intended to promote and encourage all Americans to be more physically active. Physical activity is an important aspect of overall health. Per CDC, physical activity is defined as anything that gets your body moving. Being physically active has health benefits such as reducing your risk of chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and certain types of cancer, depression, anxiety, and dementia. The amount of physical activity you need varies by your age. Adults are recommended to have at least 150 minutes of moderate to intense aerobic activity and 2 days of muscle strengthening activities every week. And kids from age 16 to 17 are recommended to have at least 60 minutes of activity daily. And children from the ages of 3 to 5 are encouraged to be active throughout the day. You can make your physical activity a family affair by going to the park, your local YMCA, or just going on a brisk walk. Always speak with your physician prior to starting a new regimen. And Samaje, you can tell us a little bit more.
That was great information, Rowena. I have actively started getting into my little workout regimen. It's pretty fun. I already feel the difference. So I'm really glad you shared that information. Thank you. So as a breastfeed coordinator, we got to get into breastfeeding. So we're going to tap into that a little bit. So breastfeeding helps burn calories, which we may find helpful and can use to assist in a healthy and active lifestyle, given the recommendations of your healthcare professionals. Always consult your physician before performing activities, of course, that are physically demanding after giving birth. Things to consider while breastfeeding and exercising are nutrition, of course, maintaining a consistent and frequent routine of milk removal, whether that's nursing your baby, hand expressing, or pumping. Just keep, the consistency going. Staying hydrated, of course. The nutrients in our blood, is used toward the production of milk. So when you're working out, the blood flow can move more toward the muscles for like muscle recovery and things like that. So you may find it helpful to start off with like light workouts that are helpful, but not too demanding on your muscles. Preparing and eating healthy meals, maintaining your nursing routine, and remember to drink plenty of fluids before, during, and after a workout. You may find that tremendously helpful. For more information, we have our wonderful guest here today, Jessica. She is the owner of Fit for Mom Las Vegas. We are so excited to have you, Jessica. Thank you so much for joining us today. We cannot wait to hear the wonderful information you're about to share with us. So can you tell us, the audience, a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So my name's Jessica, and I'm a mom of 4 kiddos. My oldest is 11. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and also a 5-year-old son. Prior to starting Fit for Mom Las Vegas in 2012 here in the Valley, I actually was a clinical registered nurse, a trauma ICU nurse to be exact. And I also was a clinical professor at a local university for their nursing program. And when I had my first daughter, honestly, motherhood can be an incredibly beautiful journey, but also one that can be very isolating as well. And I feel like in Las Vegas, it's one of those cities that's known to be pretty transient. I moved out here, I was with my husband, but I had no extended family here. And so I was really desperately seeking out community and connection, and also just an opportunity to be able to relate to some other moms out there. And on top of that, I was also looking for ways to find this inner strength in my new mommy body. And I really wanted to find a program that was specifically catered towards women that were postpartum. And specifically because I know that there are just so many considerations to take place and that are necessary for new moms. And I couldn't quite find something that fit exactly what I was looking for. And so I made the decision back in 2012 to start Fit for Mom Las Vegas here in the Valley. And we now offer fitness programs for every stage of motherhood, from when a mom first finds out she's pregnant to beyond, when she's got older kiddos that are off in school. And we also provide, most importantly, community connections. So opportunities for women to get together at social events. Their children enjoy free play groups across the Valley. And then we also have a big effort towards philanthropy. And so working with community service projects as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing, right?
Yeah, thank you. And some of our questions that we got from our moms, they often get concerned that working out while pregnant. What does science and research tell us?
Absolutely. So that's one of our biggest things, is making sure that the exercises we're providing for women are not only safe and effective, but also really grounded by research. And so everything that we do in our classes, we actually abide by the ACOG guidelines, so the American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. And for expectant women particularly, the guidelines change on a continual basis. And so the latest guidelines are really recommending that women that are pregnant can absolutely, if they were participating in particular exercises prior to being pregnant, they can actually resume those physical activities, of course, with final approval from their healthcare provider. For women that haven't ever participated in a particular exercise regimen, it's not too late. As a matter of fact, we really like to stress that pregnancy is the perfect time for women to commit to their health and the health of their baby as well. We do recommend, however, starting incrementally and making sure we have low impact options. Generally speaking, you're looking at, throughout pregnancy, wanting to have at least 150 minutes a week of exercise, and making sure that we're really taking consideration in how we approach that exercise. So, for example, there are so many changes that happen to a woman's body throughout pregnancy.
Yeah.
And especially when we talk about hormones, there's a hormone relaxin that is fantastic because it helps to loosen all of, the ligaments and everything in preparation for childbirth. However, during exercise, it also creates a great deal of instability in the joints, particularly in the knees and the hips. So you want to make sure you're easing into your exercises as well, keeping in mind that it doesn't have to be crazy high impact to be beneficial for your body.
Right. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's going to relieve a lot of moms.
Yeah.
Is there a specific limit, would you say, to how much a mom should be lifting if she wants to do weights and things like that?
So a lot of times it's going to be based on physician or healthcare provider recommendations as well. I know it's crazy because even from the time I was first pregnant 11 years ago, there were so many rules and, no heavy lifting, this amount of weight is the absolute limitation. Whereas now there's a lot of healthcare providers that are actually supporting women, especially there's a lot of women that weight lift now. And so, again, when they look at whether or not that is something that they were doing prior to being pregnant or not, many times they are saying that it is okay to lift some of those weights throughout the pregnancy. Now, the challenge in that is going to be, of course, with the changes that we discussed that are constantly happening to women's bodies, pelvic floor strength is something that we want to make sure is really a primary focus. So this is where having the education and how to lift, and also making sure that you're not doing anything too strenuous that is going to be placing too much pressure on that pelvic floor is something definitely to be of consideration. So as far as an exact weight limit, it's hard to pinpoint those from mom to mom, just again, based on her prior experience with exercise and things like that. But it's definitely something that we recommend running by a mom's healthcare provider to get an exact number. But again, using that guideline of whatever you were doing prior to is generally going to be safe throughout the pregnancy as well, so long as you're keeping those body mechanics in mind. And it's one of the reasons why even during our workouts, we really like stressing functional fitness. So when we're doing squats, it's not just doing squats. We're reminding women, this is the proper body alignment. When you go to pick up that stroller and lug it into the back of your car, this is the formation you should be in. Hips leaning back, energy through your heels, chest lifted, shoulders rolled back, and most importantly, making sure to constantly engage that pelvic floor too.
Oh yeah. I'm going to remember that even when I'm not looking at strollers and things like that. That's very helpful.
No, yeah. And so many things, right? Like we learn about throughout our pregnancy. And some women don't learn about it during their pregnancy, but it's things that should stay with us for a lifetime. And so that's why, again, we're always stressing that, it's functional fitness is so very important, because instead of just coming to a class and thinking about, getting a 60-minute workout in, you can really think about how you can apply that workout to your entire life. And of course, we all know like how important getting our bodies moving and being safe in that movement can help in, our overall health and well-being.
Yeah. We're jumping right into that. Can you tell us about maternal health and well-being and its influence on children?
Yeah, so one of my favorite things. So we have a program called Stroller Strides and Stroller Bar. It's a mommy and me program. So it's where women can bring their little ones with them to class in their strollers, and we engage and involve the little ones the entire time through interactive song, play, puppets, bubbles, you name it. We're doing it for the kids as the moms are getting their exercise in. And one of the reasons why I love this program the most is because many of the moms don't realize that as young as their children are, I mean, some of them, 2 months old, 6 months old, and they think their kids are kind of just sitting tight, not really realizing what's going on. Those are the kids that as they start to become more mobile, as they start vocalizing, they really start emulating their mothers. And so perfect example of this is, and it was a light bulb moment for me, but when I was doing stroller strides with my daughter, and she was just 8 months old when we first started with her, but we were actually off in another children's class, and they were playing an Ants Go Marching song. And they had a specific activity for all the kids to be doing during Ants Go Marching. However, my daughter, who at this time was just over 14 months of age, she knew that at Stroller Strides, when we play Ants Go Marching, we do walking lunges. And so around this little kids class, where all the other kids are doing this activity, she's doing walking lunges around the entire classroom. And it was a light bulb moment, because I realized, I was like, wow, the work that we're doing, even though I think I'm going and just getting a 60-minute workout in, the impact I'm having on my child, and them seeing that fitness is a way of life for me, but also it's not something that is a burden. It's something that can be fun and interactive, and they see the moms smiling with one another and laughing and having a good time. And I think it's important for kids to see that at a very young age, even though we don't really realize how much they're grasping and how much they're actually observing and kind of mentally, thinking about what their moms are doing in front of them. The more they age, I think it really becomes second nature to them. And now that my kids are older, all of my kids are avid athletes. My girls are competitive dancers, and I really attribute it to them seeing their mom active and always making fitness, a way of life. But I think it's important for these moms to realize that I'm a firm believer. Mothers are catalysts for change, and it's never too late to, whether fitness was never part of your lifestyle growing up, or maybe it's not even a part of your lifestyle right now, it is never too late to implement those positive changes. And the beauty of it is that when we start making those changes, we're creating changes for the next generation too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you for that. And another thing we wanted to ask you is, how soon after giving birth can a mom work out? What is the recommendation on that?
Yeah, so this is another really recent change. So it used to be that the general recommendation per ACOG was 6 weeks postpartum to resume any exercise. And what we're finding now is the recommendation is actually stating that women can safely resume light forms of exercise within even days after delivering. So again, that's going to be based off of the healthcare providers' recommendations.
Right.
But when we say resuming exercise, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going in for a hardcore 60-minute set. As a matter of fact, we really recommend, we actually offer while they're pregnant, what they can be doing immediately after they deliver to already help with the recovery process. And so things like pelvic floor exercises, working Kegels, brisk walks throughout the neighborhood, All of those things are really, really wonderful ways to just get started in moving your body after you deliver your baby. And again, a lot of it's going to be based on your recovery period as well. We all know that, someone who goes through a cesarean is going to have a slightly longer recovery time versus a vaginal delivery. And so we want to be very cognizant too that women are giving themselves a little bit of grace and space also to go through that recovery process, because everybody's going to be completely different in how they feel they recover. The benefits, however, of moving that body postpartum, and also this, it relates to prenatal as well, is, exercise can actually assist with the recovery process. So when we're talking about mobility for women, we're talking about the importance of cardiovascular health. We're also talking about, being very aware of that. Things like pelvic floor health. And it's one of the things that we oftentimes hear most from women postpartum is, are the challenges with their pelvic floor. And I think a lot of times it's because we haven't actively been training our pelvic floor appropriately. And so that's something also that can be implemented postpartum, where we really start thinking about pelvic floor exercises and things that can assist so that moms feel comfortable and confident moving into their exercises postpartum.
Yeah, that's great. Great information. Great. So we're going to slide into the women who may be experiencing like postpartum depression, things like that. And those who want to begin an active lifestyle, do you recommend women experiencing PPD to I guess start the active lifestyle, and why?
I absolutely do. And it was one of those things, especially being in healthcare prior to starting Fit for Mom Las Vegas. I always knew about the prevalence of postpartum depression. And I've always been very, very aware and an advocate for maternal mental health. I didn't quite realize exactly how many women were directly impacted by depression until I started Fit for Mom. And it isn't necessarily something someone shares with you upon
Right.
However, I feel very blessed that through Fit for Mom Las Vegas, we get to cultivate these connections and these friendships. And over time, I started realizing a lot of women that would come to us, months later, sometimes a little bit longer, they would disclose to us that when they first discovered Fit for Mom, they were in a not so great space. And many of them were dealing with things like postpartum depression. So with that, what I love is there is actual research based out there, and it's actually in one of the ACOG reports that they have on their website. But there are two key things in helping to overcome postpartum depression, and it's socialization and exercise, physical activity. And so what we love is through Fit for Mom, we're able to blend those two very important concepts and provide not only really great workouts, but an opportunity for mom to be seen, to be heard, to be noticed, and to also be recognized in where she is in her stage of motherhood. So it gives us that chance to make moms realize that they're not alone on that motherhood journey. And oftentimes it's a simple act of realizing that, oh my gosh, someone else is going through something very similar to me, or someone else is feeling the same things that I'm feeling. It gives us permission to feel those feelings, but also gives us the strength and resilience to seek out help when we need that additional help. And it also allows us the opportunity to just share our thoughts and our feelings so that, we're able to overcome those challenges on our journeys through motherhood.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if someone's not ready to work out in a group yet, what kind of activities can they do at home?
Yes, there's so many wonderful things that someone can be doing at home. And we actually have some really great resources on demand. So exercises that kind of walk you through safe and effective pre and postnatal exercise tips. However, simple things like even going for walks around the block once your baby is born, even prenatal simple walks. Again, that's that aerobic activity that can be very, very beneficial for moms. Generally speaking, ACOG also recommends at least twice a week of getting some strength-based exercise. And I'm going to be very honest with you, for most of us moms, we're lugging around the car seats, we're lugging around the babies themselves who only get bigger.
Right.
So it's sometimes not really hard to get that strength training in. But I will say, I think it's a lot of times easier to make that fitness a part of your lifestyle when you're able to do it with a group. There are really wonderful resources out there whether it be online through videos. We actually have quite a few YouTube videos with free educational resources on exercise programs. Our website also has some tips and tricks when it comes to pre and postnatal fitness exercises. But there are lots of different ways. And one of my favorite things I like mentioning to moms, I'm like, head out to a park. See if you meet another mom and take a little stroll around with them. Once you get to know another mom, you'd be surprised how many are itching and craving for that connection themselves too. And sometimes that exercise can just start out by just little brisk walks around a park or neighborhood.
Yeah. That's easy peasy, right? You gotta slide right on in there. Those are great tips.
The hardest step is the first step, right? Like
that's it, the decision, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mine never matter for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few breastfeeding families that, do want to work out, but are usually concerned about their milk supply when working out. So what type of workout plan would you recommend for families that are nursing?
Yes, I love this question because it's one that we get very, very frequently in our classes. And there was this misconception that if you exercise, that you're going to lose your milk supply. And what we really like to stress is no matter whether you're, what your choice is as a mother, if you're bottle feeding, if you're breastfeeding, hydration is key. Right. Yeah. Our bodies are, especially our moms that are breastfeeding, your bodies are nurturing another human being. And so we have to make sure that whatever you're doing, whether you're part of a regular exercise regimen or not, that you're adequately fueling your own body, because otherwise what we notice is your little baby's going to take what they need from you. They're going to take the nutrients, they're going to take the milk, they're going to take that extra hydration, and you're going to notice it because you're going to feel that lack in energy. And, sometimes we have women that complain about nausea and things like that too. So what we encourage women is to make sure that they are providing themselves with not only 3 meals a day, but 2 snacks a day. And a lot of times those snacks, if you can center them around being protein and carbohydrate focused, so that you get that little boost of energy when you need it throughout your day, but the carbohydrate also helps to sustain you throughout the day, and hydration being essential as well. So making sure that you're getting that extra fluid so that, you're feeling not only really well hydrated, but you're also helping in that milk production if you are breastfeeding. So a lot of times we're recommending for women who are nursing to find those extra snacks, and we're looking for about extra 350 to 500 calories a day to account for that offset that they might be feeling, especially as breastfeeding mothers.
Excellent.
You kind of touched on that a little bit, but so like you were saying, breastfeeding burns about 350 to 500 calories. Why is it important for breastfeeding and chest feeding people to still participate in an active lifestyle?
Yeah, so we want to make sure that no matter what, right, that we're still getting that movement in, that physical activity in. And I could list out hundreds of objections whenever I talk to a mom and I'm like, let's get you started. And it comes, and they're all valid, right? From feelings of fatigue to I don't know where to start, to feeling really uncomfortable, things like bladder incontinence that people don't really talk about all the time postpartum. Also breast discomfort. We all know that breastfeeding moms are naturally going to have engorged breasts. So making sure that you have a very well supporting sports bra so that you feel comfortable and confident as you're getting your exercise in. All of these things are going to be little steps that you can take so that you don't have one of those, hindrances when you're looking at possibly starting some kind of exercise regimen. So, especially with breastfeeding moms and accounting for that caloric deficit, making sure that you're increasing that caloric intake, again, not only helps so that you're continuing to be able to sustain your baby in the breastfeeding process, but also making sure that you're taking care of yourself. That whole metaphor of keeping your cup filled, right? We talk about that all the time from the social aspect and the emotional and the mental health aspect of making sure that your cup is filled. You can't pour into others unless your cup is filled itself. Figuratively, I think that actually that makes more sense too for our breastfeeding moms in that, if you are lacking hydration, you're going to feel that depletion when you go about your day. If you're lacking the extra caloric intake, you're going to notice that depletion as you go about your day. So again, the importance of making sure, your nutrition is sound and it's well-rounded. You're eating, we like to just say the rainbow, right? Make sure you have a colorful plate, make sure you're getting the protein, make sure you're getting the carbohydrate, exercise, and make sure that you're also keeping yourself well hydrated, especially here in the Valley where these heated temps, we oftentimes become dehydrated and we don't even really realize it until it's too late. So keeping that water bottle by you the entire time can be really, really helpful, especially for our breastfeeding moms too.
Yes, yes, that is amazing information, Jessica. You have loaded us. My little spirit is still over here. I'm so encouraged to continue my personal active lifestyle, even though I'm not breastfeeding or being pregnant. But you shared so much great information. I can't wait to share this with the rest of our participants and families that we come in contact with. Do you have anything else you want to inform the audience about?
Sure. I mean, we'd love to welcome any moms that are out there seeking guidance or information, or even want to check out any of our programs. We'd love to welcome them out. We offer fitness programs throughout the entire Valley at multiple locations, multiple times a day. You can see our full schedule on our website at lasvegas.fitformom.com. And then again, in addition to the workouts, we also provide free children's playgroup across the Valley. So if you're nervous about coming to a workout, come and join us for a playgroup and meet some of the other moms. Let your kiddos meet some of the other kiddos. And you can check out our social events that we have going on our website too. And for anybody interested, we're hosting the Valley's largest celebration of moms at downtown Summerlin on May 7th. And it's completely free, open to the public. We'll have lots of goodies and raffles and giveaways. So we'd love to welcome your community of moms out to join us to celebrate them too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Can you give us the website one more time?
Sure. That website is lasvegas.fitformom.com, and that's FIT4MOM.com.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Likewise. Have a good day.
You too.
And thank you guys for joining us here at the Las Vegas Culture Club.
My name is Rowena.
And I'm Samaje.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Be sure to tag us into your social media platforms. We are on wiclv.org, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Add us and subscribe.